He was.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. He's there. I was gonna say he was.
I'm here.
He's audio? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see your audio come through. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, I was upstairs finishing up stuff. I'm ready when you guys are.
All right, here we go. We're gonna call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. This is the May 17th Finance Committee meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Kiana Tribune,
Present.
Emma Fitzgerald,
Present.
and Robert Lawson.
Present.
All right. The first agenda item is to read the minutes from the last meeting, which was held on April the 19th. If we can just take a moment to look those over, and then someone can make a motion for approval.
I can make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the Finance Committee meeting minutes from April 19th.
I'll second it. This is Robert.
All ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next agenda item, which is the income tax update. I don't see Charles on. Tim, are you handling that this evening?
Yes, I can do that. Am I coming through okay? It seems like everything on my end is really slow.
Yeah,
You're
we can
good.
hear and see you.
Okay, that's all that matters then. The income tax report, the Income Tax Department has provided tax reports related to the month of April for the committee's review. The majority of the April tax receipts.
I'm sorry, one sec. Can everybody please mute if you're not speaking? It's a lot of background noise.
Yep. The majority of the April tax receipts related to collections made by Rita. Therefore, most of the money collected in April was deposited into the village treasury in May. The village collected $805,066.24 in the month of April. Actually, that's more like $810,000. They had an extra collection today, day that I missed. And of that amount, $5,680 were deposited into the village treasury in April. The remaining 500, make it 505,000, was deposited in May. Distributions of village taxes are documented in the table in your report, where the general fund received $641,252. The road tax fund received $105,008. Debt service received $37,800,001. Also, we noted that since inception, the road tax fund has brought in, we'll just call it 1.67 million into the village. Of that amount, we've spent $778,941 on road improvements. I know Committee of the Whole, we discussed perhaps some other road work we'd like to do this year. All the deficits from January have been made up, and the village tax revenues are currently 22% above revenues from last year and 9% above tax revenues from 2019. The tax and finance departments will continue to monitor tax collections as the year progresses. It really was a great month for us. The $810,000 amount is actually more money than we've received in 1 month. It's beaten every month in 2020 as well as 2019. So that was very exciting. Any questions on that? No. Okay. Go ahead and move on to the finance director's report then. Oh, it looks like Ms. Boyd had a question.
Thank you.
Oh, sure, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you. With the RETA money, the tax money that came in, the
Yes,
that they take, is that yearly or do they take it monthly? The fee.
they retain, I want to make sure I say it correctly. They have a 3% retainer each month.
Okay.
Of that retainer, a certain amount is used for tax refunds. So they never bill us for a refund. It's part of that retainer. And then at year end, they do a reconciliation and give us the difference back between the retainer and the actual fee that they calculate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? No? All right, I'll move on to the finance director's report. Reports provided. We've provided an appropriations and revenues reports. There are spreadsheets included in your packet that provide an overview by fund of appropriations versus expenditures and budgeted revenues versus actual receipts. As of April 30th, 2020, the village has collected 30 revenues and expended 23% of appropriations. Those detailed budget versus actual reports are in your email packets because they're really long. Receipts and expenses reports also included in this report in your packets is a spreadsheet to provide an overview of receipts and disbursements for January 1, 2021 through April 30, 2021. For the month of April, the village collected $1,495,432.79 and dispersed $676,500.11. Of the receipts collected in April, over $500,000 were related to the first half property tax distributions from Hamilton County, and then $300,000 related to the fire truck litigation. Within our general fund, receipts and disbursements are in line with total village receipts and disbursements, where the village has collected 29% of total general fund receipts and dispersed 28% of total general fund appropriations. We're within reason there. Included in your packets is a fund balance report for the month ending April 30th, 2021. Any questions on any of those before I move on? No? Okay. Overtime reports. The overtime report is also included in your packet. The village spent $11,532.06 in overtime for the month of April. The village has spent a total of $63,688.14 in overtime for the year, with the police department and fire departments accounting for 47% and 32% of those charges respectively. Also included is your salary expense report. Currently, the village has spent $71,974.66 less, it's hard to say, in salaries and benefits in 2021 than in 2020, with recreations and administration making up 35% and 29% of those savings respectively. Some interesting things to note in that salary report, if you look at it, are that the village is down over $100,000 in true salary expense, which I consider to be gross salaries, pension, Medicare, Social Security, et cetera. But we're up over about $30,000 in medical benefits, which makes sense. We did see an increase in our medical premiums in 2021. The village is currently looking for ways to reduce those medical benefits through some programs with its benefits provider. And we'll continue to look into those and try to make those happen for the village so we can get as much savings as we can on that. Any questions on salaries or overtime?
I have a quick question. I know before, I think you used to give us like a breakdown I'm just asking this just because the overtime seems to be on an uptick. I think you used to give it to us by month.
I did. That's included in your packet.
It is still in here.
It'll be, I don't know if I included it in a hard copy. It's always as part of the email copy.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else? No? Okay. Negative fund balances included in your report is a table showing our negative fund balances. Since being identified in May of 2020, the village has eliminated a total of $395,164.83 in negative fund balances. Still seems like we're on track to eliminate the negatives in general obligation and capital projects within the strategy we talked about in July of last year. Recreations income versus receipts. So far, looking at the general fund, which is the fund everybody tends to worry about, recreations has receipted in $10,232.80. Expenditures account for $103,437.20. Expenditures are over receipts by $93,204.40. The majority of those expenditures are obviously salaries. We also made payments to the military to the National Guard for our, we'll call it lease on the recreation center. Any questions related to those items? No. Okay. Pool season, estimated revenues versus expenditures. At our last council meeting, it was requested that the finance department prepare an estimated profit and loss statement related to the municipal pool. The finance department estimated pool receipts by utilizing 2019 receipts information related to pool operations, as well as current estimated property tax receipts related to the pool fund. Estimated expenditures are derived from village appropriations related to the pool fund. As documented in the table in your packets, if the entire pool budget were to be utilized for pool operations, the village would expect expenditures to exceed revenues by about $17,770. While that loss could seem concerning, we need to keep in mind that all of those expenditures in there are currently budgeted to happen from the pool fund. So that is tax money that we take in from property taxes that's specifically for the operations and upkeep of the pool. I also feel like it's highly unlikely that we'll spend the entire $27,496 related to salary expense on the pool. We're planning to farm a lot of that stuff out to swim safe, including the concessions. So that should go down a little. I think currently we're just looking to hire about 3 other employees to cover the front desk. So I don't believe we're going to use that whole amount there. I think there are also some other savings that we're gonna notice as well as we move forward. I did add, we as part of the pool renovations, and I don't have the renovations in those numbers, I have them pulled out separately, but also as part of the pool renovations or part of that, what we're doing with the pool, I know we went ahead and purchased some additional lifeguard chairs that weren't in the original estimate. So I did build those out to the pool fund as well, knowing that they're specifically for the pool. That just makes sense. Any questions related to the pool or anything else I can help with on that?
I just had a quick question on the expenditures. I'm assuming that contract services is swim safe.
It is, yes.
Season. Okay. And I apologize for not remembering, but it seems like that cost was significantly lower last time the pool was open. I'm thinking, I'm remembering a figure around like 88,000 or something like that for the 2019 season.
I know that the contract for 2020 was a new contract, and we had suspended it in 2020 and then picked it back up this year.
Mm-hmm.
I also know that we've added to the contract services for the concession stand. I'm not sure what the amount was in 2019. It's very possible that they had increased it. I don't have it in front of me. I can email everybody the total contract amount when I get in the office tomorrow. But I do know it's around that $100,000 number as I recall.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Bobby.
Thank you. I got a quick question. And actually, I don't know if this question is for this meeting, because if it is, we could table it. But my question is, are there going to be any pool rentals for the residents or non-residents to occupy the pool?
Probably have to ask Paula.
Probably more of a, yeah, I was gonna say more of a Paula question than me.
Okay.
I don't want to overstep on that one. I know she's still working on kind of putting everything together.
Okay, we could table it. I didn't know if this was the right conversation for this conversation, so I get it. Thank you.
I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow anyway. I can ask her about that and email you as well.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Yep. Anything else? Okay. Just a quick update on the American Rescue Act plan. Again, just as a reminder, as far as we know, we're set to receive $670,000 in American Rescue Act money. That amount is split between 2 years. We should receive $335,000 this year, $335,000 next year. I did attend an Ohio Grants Partnership update where they discussed that a little bit. They did not give me the information I really wanted, which was to know when I was getting it and when and what we were actually allowed to spend it on. Some good documentation there. But I'm supposed to attend another one here actually tomorrow, so I'm hoping for some better updates. They did note that the U.S. Treasury stated that the state of Ohio, which is where our money comes through, may not distribute more than 75% of an entity's budget as of January 27th, 2020. So what we submitted to Hamilton County in January of 2020, they couldn't give us more than 75% of that budget. It seems kind of like an odd number for them to utilize, but that's fine. I've gone ahead and pulled that budget and I have it saved on my desktop for whenever they ask me for it or for when they tell me there's a website to turn it in. That number shouldn't affect us. The 335 is well below 75% of our budget. Have still not received any additional haven't received any distribution guidance. They still did state the liquidation period will go through 2024. So I'll continue to attend the meetings and kind of look for updates. I think they'll probably do the distribution maybe closer to sometime in June. I know they said when it comes through the state, it can take a little bit longer. So we'll kind of keep checking the bank account, keep checking the email for when they decide to push that out. And again, as soon as they give me some better guidance, I can keep everybody informed on what we're allowed to spend that on if there are any restrictions. Any questions regarding the Rescue Act money? No, okay. Our public works truck, the finance department reached out to various banks for the purpose of acquiring a lease purchase agreement to purchase a new dump truck with a plow and leaf package for the public works department. I think we discussed this for just a second at committee of the whole. US Bank gave us the best rate at 1.96% on a loan amount of $150,000. We reached out to Freightliner, who is the contracted vendor through the Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program. And I've never bought a dump truck before, and so you have to buy them in two pieces. You have to buy the chassis as well as a body. So Freightliner said they could put the body together for us, and they gave us a quote on that. The body, we got a quote from Koffenberger, and that looked like a really nice quote. It included the plow package. I'm still working things out a little bit between Freightliner as well as our law director. We originally thought we would use the bid contract, again, from Ohio Cooperative Purchasing, but that contract was rather specific as to what you could buy. So ODOT actually has contracts we can utilize as well, and theirs is a little bit more liberal. You can kind of build the truck that you need, which is what Tony kind of worked through with the Freightliner representative. So Emily is working on putting together legislation that I believe we will have our council meeting here at the end of the month to utilize the contract from ODOT so that we can get the appropriate chassis. And then the body is below the $50,000 threshold, so there are no bid requirements on that from Koffenberger. And again, I've contacted Brenda Weimer, our bond attorney, and made sure she was in the loop on the lease purchase conversations. Probably reach out to her again tomorrow or Wednesday just to follow up and make sure we kind of get things moving. But we should expect legislation, hopefully for the purchase of the truck here, or I guess the approval of the loan at our June meeting is my hope. Want to make sure we get that moving so Tony has it. I do know there are delays on these. So we're kind of hoping to have it more towards the end of the year. It looks like once they get it all built, we'll probably get it more towards the beginning of next year. But again, Tony and I discussed that, and he said, you know, as long as I know I've only got to get through one more season, I can make it happen. But they're
Oh, we lost you, Tim. We lost him. Tim, can you hear us? Well,
Someone.
while we wait for him to come back on, we can jump down to see, is there any new finance business that is not reflected in the agenda that we need to discuss? All right. I had asked that question about the swim safe contract. I was able to find the contract that we signed in 2019 for the 2020 season. And that total amount was 96,000. And it sounds like now it's 104. So just to be noted, their prices, that's an 8% increase year over year. So I think we just need to pay attention to that every year. If it's going to continue to increase by that much. I think we need.
Hey,
to
Madam Chair,
understand.
is that because we got more services from them? We're getting
Well, that's
charged
the
for more
thing.
services?
That's the thing I don't know. What I would say is I know from 2019 to 2020, it was a 3% increase. And according to the emails, that was just an overall cost of living increase. I'm not sure what the 8% increase from 2020 to 21 is, because I don't recall seeing that contract. Or maybe you guys do. Maybe it was at a meeting I missed, but I don't recall seeing the 2021
Here
contract.
comes.
I thought it was up to 98,000.
sorry about that, guys.
According to the report that Tim gave, it's 104 for this year. No, it was 96. I'm looking at it right now. I think. If I'm reading it
Well, Tim's
right.
back on. He might be able to help us if he knows on the
Yeah,
top of his head.
We can
Right.
go ahead and finish his report, and then we can come back to this if we need to. Yeah, we had lost you for a minute, Tim.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I kept talking, then everybody froze, and then it all just went black. The last thing I was doing was discussing a public works truck. Is that where you guys left off to?
Yes.
Okay. Again, lowest interest rate on that was from US Bank at 1.96%. We're working on essentially building the truck that we want to utilize. The law director is putting legislation together so that we can utilize the ODOT purchasing contract, which is a little bit easier to purchase what we need from than the Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program contract. And the goal is to have that, we need to pass a resolution to use the ODOT contract. The goal is to have that for council here next week. And then my hope is that I can kind of get everything together between Emily and Brenda and the bank so that we can go ahead and approve the loan and everything here in June. I know that we want to try to keep things moving so that Tony and Public Works crew can get the truck to utilize. There is a delay on these. We're hoping to get it at the end of the year. It's probably more likely we're going to get it at the beginning of next year. But Tony said, as long as I know there's an end to the one I currently have, I can make it through another year. So we're gonna do the best we can with it. Any questions on the public works truck? No. Okay. Kind of an FYI, the Auditor of State has recorded their 2021 Local Government Officials Conference. Those recordings are available to view anytime. Topics include Ohio ethics law, practices and procedures of deliberative bodies, the Ohio Auditor legislative updates, practical methods to achieve cyber resiliency, as well as other topics that may be of interest. You can view that conference on the auditor's website. I have the direct link there for anybody that's interested. But that is a free recorded conference. Anybody can view it anytime. Legislation of expenditures over $10,000. Again, we will have legislation to approve a contract with Baldwin at the next council meeting. Total cost for the contract is $15,400 with an additional expense, and Baldwin's trying to estimate it. They haven't been able to get a good contact with Teal 9, but they think it'll be between $3,000 and $6,000 to perform the conversion process. So moving the required data from our old software to the new one. All of those amounts will be paid from the Mayor's Court Computer Fund. No general fund money will be used for that. And then also, council will have for approval at the next meeting legislation for the pool slide repairs in the amount of $12,000. Other than that, I don't have any other legislation on my agenda. I can't speak for the village manager. He may have some that I'm not aware of at the moment. Any questions on any of those items? No. Okay. And then otherwise, all I have are our basic reminders. I've gone ahead and just put the pool levy information under our reminders. We've discussed this a few times. Again, pool levy will expire here at the end of 2022. So we need to decide what we want to do regarding the levy, whether we want to try to shoot for a renewal or a replacement or something else. Fire levy, probably want to try to review and figure out what we want to do with that no later than January of 2023. We've talked about the public works truck information. I also need to reach back out to my contact related to the Woodlawn Community Center bond refunding. Again, I know we'll have the ability to do the refunding on that in the fall of this year. And I think the last time I spoke with the folks that kind of look over that kind of stuff, they thought July would be their date to kind of have information for council to review and look over. And then I'm continuing to kind of review fire and EMS staffing numbers with the fire chiefs. So I think that's all I have. Did anybody else have something?
Real quick question, Madam Chair.
Yes.
In terms of the options, Tim, in terms of those different levies, and
Yes.
I've been really looking at these levy options that you kind of drafted together, and I see where 3 and 4 are very similar.
Yes.
Would you feel comfortable directing council in what you see could be the best option for us, so we can maybe kind of think about that and begin some really good dialogue on those options? But I do see that I like an option 4, but I'm just seeing, the comparisons there. But again, that's something that we want to hear some direction from you.
Sure. Again, they're both certainly valid options to use. If I was going to push for one, I'd push more towards 4 than 3. I think either the police or the public works would certainly benefit from a levy. The pool itself, funding the pool, especially once a lot of the debts expire, really isn't going to be a tremendously large burden for the village. And it's stuff that we can budget from the general fund through the recreations line items. But I think certainly, and I almost lean more towards police than public works for their own kind of levy, only because the police tend to, I'm not going to say they're harder on cars, but the nature of what they do is a little bit more difficult on the cruisers.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So, just want to have, council to really think about that. And we can weigh in maybe at our CAL meeting, we can really weigh in on that and look at that so we can start thinking ahead for that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure. Tim, the only other thing, I had asked the question about the amount of the swim safe contract.
Sure.
And I was able to find the 2020 contract. Obviously, we didn't operate the pool in 2020, but we had signed that contract already in anticipation. And the total amount was $96,168.
Okay.
So just thinking about the increase from that previous contract to now, if it is 104, that's about an 8% increase.
Right.
So,
the 2020 contract should still be in effect. And again, just because the line item for contract services is 104 doesn't, always mean that the contract itself is 104.
okay.
Sometimes we'll use that line item for other things as well. Like I said, I do know that we did increase our contract services by about, I think it was around $8,000 for Swim Safe to operate the concession stand for us.
Okay.
And then anything else that kind of needs to happen with that, we'll kind of bill out of that line item as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Is it Bobby?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question for Tim. Tim, is there any money left over from the pool levy for this summer after you finish the repairs? Was there a lot or a little or just remaining? You don't have to give a dollar amount.
I think essentially if they were to use the entire budget to operate the pool that we budgeted for, so that whole, what was that, $174,000 number, we'd pretty much have a $0 balance at the end of the year.
Right.
Again, that levy, that money gets replenished every year as well. We get our first payment from our property taxes in April, and the second one comes in August. But between the renovations that were a little over, honestly, by the time they're all said and done, it's going to be over 340,000 because I know they've added a few things. And then the general operations of the pool, I don't expect there to be much of a fund balance left in there.
Okay, well, I'd like to take this time now to thank you for all the consideration you did for the pool, because I talked to the mayor. The mayor said that is your baby, so I hope the residents really come out and they enjoy the pool and they have a good time. I know my mom used to call it the water hole. So the water hole will be open soon, so hopefully, all the kids appreciate it. Hopefully you get down there with your trunks down there too, and we'll keep it moving for beautiful Woodlawn.
I think it'd be fun to see it operating. It'll look really nice, I think.
Definitely, you did a good job. I just want to tell you thank you again personally.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Got it.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our agenda. So if there's nothing else, I'll make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second it.
Okay, all ayes.
Aye.
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 All right, well, thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
You as well.
Be safe,
Thanks.
everyone.
One.
Bye.
Bye.